Okay, after the narrow majority decision loss to Joe Thomas, MacBride's next fight was in March 30th, 1956. This was his 12th fight. And for that one, I decided to drop back down and defend that regional title again. Remember that there were no titles at stake against Thomas. He was a regional champ. MacBride was a regional champ. So they were just testing each other. And at any rate, so MacBride's reputation dropped down to 28. And I decided to defend that Ohio River Valley lightweight title. Since I had already made the decision that that's what the fight was going to be, I didn't even bother rolling all four possible opponents because I knew my regional challenger, was going to come from Tier 3. So I just rolled a Tier 3 opponent, and I liked the look of him good enough, and off we went. So his name was Clint Washington. He came in from Covington, Kentucky, with a record of 15-4-1, 5 knockouts. And here's how things went. Let's see. I rolled for my training camp modifier. I rolled a 37, which reduced MacBride's endurance. And yeah, I reduced it down to 16. Was that an issue? Let's see. He still actually, because of the TKO punishment he inflicted on Washington, that actually didn't hurt him. He was able to turn that disadvantage around just by punishing Washington. But it was a good fight nonetheless. Big first round for MacBride. Washington came back, won the second round by a margin of 3 points. The third round was nip and tuck, pretty close. And then MacBride began to take over 8-2, 8-4, 6-3. And this started setting up, actually we had TKO conditions after the 5th round, but then that 6-3 round canceled the TKO conditions. So we went to the 7th, and MacBride, again, in inside mode, was able to pile up some big points, 2-point hook, 2-point uppercut, 2-point combination, outscored him 8-0 in the final 2 minutes of that round, en route to an 11-2 domination. In round 7, this set up the TKO conditions again. At that point, both fighters were entering fatigue, and Washington was a little ahead, was on level 2 in that regard. So Washington opens up round 8 with a good solid uppercut, and I thought, well, so much for the TKO. We're going to have to go the distance with this guy. But then MacBride turns it on. Both guys were in pressure mode at that point, by the way. I selected pressure for MacBride, final round. So I wanted to try to get the stoppage because TKO conditions were in effect, TKO watch. And for Washington, he was going pressure because he needed to get lucky with a knockout to probably, or at least a knockdown, to really contest this on the score sheet. So MacBride ends up, after eating that uppercut early, responds with a couple big hooks, and then he just starts unleashing that straight right of his and connects with it 3 segments in a row, and that's what forced the TKO stoppage at 2:14. And so only with 40 seconds left in the fight, 46 seconds left in the fight, he is able to get the stoppage and notch another KO win and another defense of the Ohio River Valley lightweight title. So the next fight then would be his 13th, and let's see. Oh, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. So after that TKO win in the 8th, I rolled 17 on normal development, no luck there. On stage advancement, I needed a 6 or less, rolled a 7. Again, missing by 1. I've had that quite a bit with this guy. He could be quite a bit further along if some of those numbers had gone my way. And then that brings us to May of 1956. You know, he's in the season stage, so I've slowed down the pacing a little bit. He's fighting pretty much every other month, sometimes a 6-week span. He can have up to 8 fights in this career stage in a year. So we're at his 13th fight. His reputation after that knockout stoppage is restored to 31, and he's in the 8th fight of his season stage, which means he's going to advance after this fight. And I decided, after defending the title and after having that narrow disappointment against Thomas at the national level, that was his first national level opponent, that I would take on another national opponent. So here again, instead of rolling all 4 opponents, I knew that I was going to take on a national level tier 4 fighter. So I just went ahead and rolled that and accepted, you know, if that fight, if those numbers had scared me quite a bit and looked insurmountable, then I might have gone and rolled other opponents. But I went ahead and just took the tier 4 opponent. I thought, okay, that looks good. Let's just roll with it. So here we go, bringing on Shannon Weber with a record of 21-10-2, 11 knockouts. He's from Indianapolis. And in order to get this fight, I am going to say that MacBride had to concede to fight in Indianapolis. So this is actually a showcase fight for Weber, which means that Weber is the favored fighter on the scorecards. And then we had a little problem in training camp. I rolled a 14, and that is going to take some power away. So I'm going to say MacBride had a wrist injury, and so he's not going to be able to go full bore, full punching power against Weber. All right, that sets this up. It's going to be an 8-rounder in Indianapolis. CTNs are 9 and 10 respectively. I keep MacBride as the red fighter out of habit. His power goes from 6 to 5. Endurance is an advantage for Weber at 22 to 18. He's got a high endurance or a high durability of 8. Okay, so this guy's going to be hard to stop. He's a good finisher, not much power, but when he does hurt somebody, he's pretty good at finishing with a +2. This should be interesting. So the modes I already rolled for are pressure for MacBride, not too unusual, and inside for Weber, the hometown boy. So Weber comes out to a big introduction. MacBride's already in the ring waiting for him. We have the announcements, we have the stare down, the instructions, and off we go. It's round 1 as MacBride takes his second test, I should say, at the national level. All right, so this is MacBride in charge. 74, 2-point combination in the plus column. Good way to open up. MacBride again, 76, but this one's going to be shifted by that. His defense, Weber's defense, is only 1. He is a tactical fighter, so he's got some good mode ranges, versatile. 76, and shift it, so, wouldn't you know it. So he scores, lets his hands go with another combination. This time he's going to get countered on the pressure card. 2-point counter punch is a 2-point counter uppercut. And this is going to be a cut test, cut check. I rolled an 8. That's not good enough. So MacBride is going to come away with some damage here off that good, clean counter punch. Oh, I rolled an 81. 2-point major swelling. So his left eye starts to swell up already here in the first minute of round 1. All right, they are even on the control check. This action goes into the corner on the ring location die. 99, that's going to be a 2-point even exchange as MacBride fires back in anger. Weber keeps on punching with him. 0-2, and we are in the brawl column. 0-2. Uh-oh, bang, clash of heads. We will check both fighters for cuts. So his cut rating is a 7, significantly better than mine, than MacBride's. MacBride rolls a 5, he's cut. Weber rolls a 19, and he's okay. Oh boy, I hope this is not to the left eye. This is not good. Oh, I rolled a 96. Terrible. Deep cut near the left eye. That is a 4-point major cut. That is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 6 cut points in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Blood gushing from that swelling around his eye. The fight is over. Referee steps in and goes, oh no, that's just hideous. MacBride's going to need stitches to seal this one up. And at 120 plus 15, so 135. So my goodness, this one with the accidental headbutt being the actual cause of the stoppage, then this, I believe, according to the rules that were most typical in the 50s, this would be called a technical draw. So, man, not what we were looking for here. Let's take a look here and see. We were fighting equal level, and this one, I guess, technical draw, so it's just going to get us the 1 point, no title involved or anything. In terms of reputation, so 31 plus 1, he'll go to 32 for his next fight. And I had also rolled, actually at the end of that fight, I got called away and came back to wrap it up here. So I had also rolled ahead for his stage advancement, rolled a 14, and that's going to give him an increase in his control rating, but it was either or. And normally I'd probably go with against the physical type fighters, but in this case, since this fight was against a tactical one, and you know, maybe that fires him up, maybe he begins to take them more seriously, I am going to increase his tactical control by 1 as he now advances. He did the full 8 fights at the season stage and never got an advancement roll. So at this point, it's automatic. I'll check that and make sure, but I believe that's the way it worked. So yeah, 8th fight, automatic advancement. So he is now at the adept stage. His control's gone up a little bit, and I don't know, I figure we're going to have to probably rematch Weber. I'd also like another shot at Joe Thomas, the guy that handed him his first loss. Both of those guys are at the national level. So we'll see. Those are possible rivals for him to meet again down the road. But for now, well, let's see. He had a cut stoppage, right? So the other thing to consider then is the medical cut recovery chart. Right here. So let's roll the old 20-sided and see how many campaign turns he's going to miss as a result of this nasty cut. 18. That's a good roll on this chart. No effect. He'll only miss 1 campaign turn. All right, so he would miss, we're in May, June, July. He would have been set to fight again. He'll miss July, and probably I could have him fight in August at some point. So we'll go again in August of 1956 will be his 14th fight. And I I haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. I've already defended that lightweight title a couple times. So I don't know. We'll pick it up in the next video, and I'll either have an update or a rematch maybe with Weber.